Welcome back to the channel, dirt cleaner videos from Superior Lapidary. Today what we're going to talk about is my Covington 30-inch saw. Anybody who does lapidary work and you're cutting stuff with an oil-based saw, what I have in here is mineral oil. Cristex is the brand name. It's kind of nearly a food-grade mineral oil. It's real low odor, but yeah, it works great. But what happens after you cut a whole bunch of rocks, and I cut a lot of rock, it gets full of muck in the bottom. And I'll show you that muck, and I'll show you how to deal with it. I'll show you how I deal with it. There's other methods. This method is mine. There might be better ones. This is just the way I do it. So I got a saw. I've already taken out about 10 gallons of product out of here, and I'll show you where I did that, and I'll show you what I'm doing with it, and how I'm going to reclaim as much as possible. Reclaiming your oil is a key element here. Oil is expensive. Mineral oil costs a lot of money, 8, 10, 12 bucks a gallon, depends where you buy it, how much you buy it. I'm into my second 55-gallon drum, so you do the math, it's a lot of money. So you want to save as much as you can. Anyway, we're going to open this bad boy up. So I've shown you inside my saw before, but what happens, it gets mucky. The muck, you can see I got some muck on the blade. Like I said, I've already been cleaning it a little bit. I took out the easy stuff. Now we're getting to the hard stuff. There in the pan, that is some nasty stuff. Towards the front, there's a drain hole. They usually come with a pipe plug. I'll show you what I did. I added a valve. I hope you can see under there. But there's a white plastic PVC valve. I don't like it. That plastic kind of binds up when you're trying to turn it on and off. So those first few times you're dumping oil out, it can create a problem. If you can't get it shut, it'll keep coming out. Anyway, that's what I got. I dropped the oil into roughly a 5-gallon bucket, and from there, now granted there's more than 5 gallons in here, so I've got to do it several times. From there it goes into my filtration system. Sounds fancy. What it is, it's a bunch of paper bags. Right there, paper bags with inside of a couple buckets. That's 3 of them I've got going right now. 1, 2, 3. I'll show you how I build that next. So what I have here is just a standard bucket. Nothing special about this bucket. You know, don't go head first into it. It's got warnings and stuff like that. But I just picked this up at the local bakery. They've got these square ones. You can use round ones. For this particular project, I like the square ones. It fits my filtration system better. You can certainly use round ones. It's not a problem. So the bucket's a bucket. I take another bucket, bucket number 2, and I cut the bottom off. Ooh, where'd it go? There we go. I cut the bottom off. So now I got a bucket that will slide into the other bucket. All right. What I do then is I take a piece of screen. Go to the local hardware store, get yourself some screen, cut it a little bit bigger than the shape of this, and I rivet it on. This one's in 8 places. Seems to suffice unless you get too much weight in there. So that is simply riveted on. I put the pointy parts down, so they're facing down. I don't want them facing up because that'll tear into my paper bag. Or we could call it the filter. Bucket goes into the bucket. Next thing I do, after a trip to the grocery store, I collect a bag. All I do, roll the top down just to keep shape, you know, that's real simple. Roll it down, shove the bucket, or the paper bag, into the bucket. There is why I use the rectangular, the square buckets instead of the round ones. The paper bag in there fits in there pretty good. So that's my filtration system. Let me explain it. I'll show you my other ones. Here's the 3 I've got going. They've been going for about 3 days. So you pour the sloppy gunk in there. Let me go to the end one. Now one would think that the oil filters through the bottom of the bag and goes into your bottom bucket. Doesn't happen that way. Maybe in the beginning you get a little bit while the oil's kind of mixed up. But what happens is all the heavies go to the bottom of the bag. The light stuff, the liquid, goes to the top of the bag. So I can't pull this bag out. It's a little too heavy right now. But picture the bottom caked with rock snot, just the hard rock and the stuff that's not going to go through the bag. But the oil still goes through because it filters through the bag. It just sort of sucks up in the bag, and it's probably kind of like a capillary way. It goes into the outside of the bag and then just slowly oozes down. You can see this bag is a little wet on the outside. Further down, it's actually moist. There's liquid there, and it just slowly drips. So these first ones were mostly liquid, a lot less rock snot. So they filtered pretty good. In 3 days, this first one, I got a fair amount of liquid out of it. And that stuff is reusable. I reused it many times. So I set the top piece in, and I leave it flat. And then after a couple days, I tilt it like I had it. A couple days later, I tilt it again so that the oil keeps hitting the side of the bag. I might tilt it to the side and then the other side. That way the oil keeps hitting the bag, and the capillary action takes it down. Gravity takes it down. Eventually, I'll be left with a cake. I could take my hand and squeeze in it. I'm not going to do it. It's kind of gross. But I'll do that. I'll reclaim all the oil I can. And then the rest, I just let sit until the next time I filter my oil. Because it's going to drip for months and months. It really will. Now, on to the next part. Now I've got the snotty stuff. That has got to get cleaned out. Not shiny clean, but you want to get the majority of the gunk out there. And that is a real problem. Nobody wants to do it. It's kind of a filthy job. You're going to get dirty. Wear rubber gloves, long sleeve gloves. Take your shirt off. I don't care. You're going to get dirty. Whatever wash is easiest for you. You're going to go through gloves, rags. It's just part of the process. I'll show you a couple tools that I use. They're not spectacular. I probably got 10 bucks into them, and it helps quite a bit. So that's what we'll do next. We'll clean out the muck, the old rock snot from the saw. All right, I've added a little bit of light so you can see better in here. Now comes the fun part. Two tools that I mainly use. One, I got a squeegee, rubber squeegee. Look at that shape, that's horrible. The mineral oil just twisted it up, and that's what happens. So it doesn't clean really well. But you know what? I'm not cleaning the shower out or my windows of my car. I'm cleaning this rock snot out of a saw. So this hand squeegee does good. I could put a handle on there and get better reach. I also picked up another squeegee. This is made out of a different material, kind of a foamy, squishy material. And this one holds together. I just got a little red handle. And all I do is scrape it along. On the back wall, scrape it out. Like I say, I'm not going to get everything. It's not worth it. I'm not going to get as much as I can. Because the more you get out, the less soon you'll have to do it again. Because this job ain't fun. I don't know if you can see on the video, but the green is starting to show up again on the back wall.
Go to the left side or just straight that down. I'm not going to go corner to corner. It's just not fun. I don't know what this thing costs. It might have been 10 bucks, it might have been 8. I like to wait till stuff goes on sale. I have no idea. The carriage I got, so it's rolled back. And then the big advantage of this one, I've got my bucket under that hole. Let's see here.
I just simply pull it towards me, and it goes down into my bucket. You're going to get some splashing. It's going to plop out of the bucket. It's going to go to a wall. It's going to hit the floor. You know, I'm not doing this in the living room. That'd be kind of gross. You're going to get chunks of rock in there that are going to block up. I got something in there right there, some big thing. Could be a stick, could be a rock. Sometimes I use sticks to wedge the rock into place. So at this point, my main goal is to get all the rock snot out of the saw. At least a reasonable amount. I've almost got enough where I've got to tip the bucket to get it out. So I can't put too much in the bucket. Alright, let's see if I can get this bucket out without ruining everything. I know it's not very bright down here. I gotta get another bucket to replace it with right away. And I happen to have it. So also, if you're in the rock business, get yourself buckets. I love buckets. And I'll probably get a drip or two on the floor. I can't care about that right now. dropped the camera into that rock snot. That was a close one. Glad it stayed on the tripod. I guess I got to start my own blooper reel. There. Yeah, I got rock snot on my tripod. But camera looks okay. That was fun. All right, bucket number 2. That's how easy it is. If I wanted to, I could scrape these walls down. I don't really want to. There, the hole's plugged up again, so I got to figure out what's in there. Sometimes, oh yeah, now whatever it is in the hole. Sometimes you got to clean out the hole. That's no fun. I need another tool. Yeah, now I just got to go down and screwdrivers are great tools. Oh, there we go. Cleared that out.
Shake it.
Another trick, and I may do this after a little while here, is when I get towards the bottom, I'll tilt this forward by putting a jack under the back and maybe a couple of 2x4s or something. And then that way the stuff will naturally flow to the front. Oh, it's slow, but it'll go. Well, there it is. Simply take this rock snot. Not sure if you can see it on the camera, but it... Oh, there's the last one. There.
Got another bucket, got another screen. Got a spider one, have one. I'll put it in. Quick process, just open the bag up, get it wide. Nice dirty mount there, but it's not a problem to do.
If anybody's interested, drop a line. Just send me a note if you want to see me make one of these screens. I'll do another one. They're pretty simple, but some people like to see how it's done. By the way, if you enjoy the videos, enjoy watching the camera fall into a bucket of rock snot. Almost. There. Subscribe. Hit like if you like it. Hit like, don't like if you don't like it. Subscribe. Comment. Yeah, when I'm done, I'm going to have to clean the shop floor pretty good too. Oh, yeah. I can throw a little in one of these bags. There. All right. The way I really knew it was time to change it, and I probably went a little too long, was I had a rock in here. I was cutting it, and you get some mist and vapor off of this when it's going. I got a product I use that helps get rid of that. It's made by Bardol. It's called No Smoke. Oh, there I got my shirt dirty. It's called No Smoke, and it's an additive for automobile engines, and that helps keep the smoke down, but it's not perfect. And there's a couple other chunks of rock down there. They might actually go through if I persuade them. There, it's opened up again. It's not mission critical, but it does help. Oh, that's full enough. So when I'm ready to stop, all I do is take and squeegee away. It takes a while for this stuff. I mean, it's snot, man. It is gross. One bucket out, another bucket in. That fast. You could take and you could get rags and you could clean this whole thing and you could take it up, pressure wash it. I don't know what you do with it, but it's really not necessary. Get 99.9% of it out doing this, and that's good enough. Let's get the back wall. I'm going to turn the squeegee upside down and get an inch or two of that back wall. almost as full as I want it, but I'm almost done. I tend to use, on my 18-inch saws, I use the hand squeegee a lot more. It's amazing, every time I go up there I keep getting more. That's actually because the bottom isn't perfectly flat. There's a little shape to the bottom of every big saw. It's just a big flat piece of steel. Well, this saw is going to be happy when I get this stuff out of here. The squeegee does fit under the blade. It's a 30-inch saw. It's got a 30-inch blade. Yeah, this is just a chunk of wood that I use for shimming. Sometimes your rocks don't quite stay in the carriage perfectly, so I shim it with wood. Hockey pucks are another thing. And a whole bunch of hockey pucks, you can cut them to different sizes. Little chunks, big chunks, and that hockey puck really tends to grab the rock pretty good. Not foolproof, but what you don't want is your rock spitting out and going crooked on you. That's bad. Well, we're getting close to being done here. So thanks for coming along the journey with me. If I haven't said it before, remember, like, subscribe, share this, let your rock club post it. I don't care. These aren't trade secrets. I'll sell you one of my rock filtration kits, but I'd rather you just make one. A lot easier. Alright, we're getting down to the end. I can't get the back squeegee, the big squeegee in, so go to the little squeegee.
I don't care. These aren't trade secrets. I'll sell you one of my rock filtration kits, but I'd rather you just make one. A lot easier. Alright, we're getting down to the end. I can't get the back squeegee, the big squeegee in, so go to the little squeegee.
And that's it. It's not perfectly clean. You can see there's stuff on the bottom. It's going to get that way the first time you cut a rock anyway. So it's your choice. You can go crazy and clean it and clean it and clean it, and you're going to use it and it's going to get dirty, or you get it mostly clean, 99% clean, and call her good. And that's what I'm going to do. I can't shut the camera off. My hands are dirty, but that's not too bad. I know my sleeves got some schmutz on them, but if it was warm in here, I'd take my jacket off. Anyway, that is my process, and maybe when I'm done I'll show you all those buckets. We'll come back to that later.